Welcome to our channel Rare Coins Hub, your ultimate destination for discovering the hidden stories and surprising value behind some of the most iconic coins from around the world. Whether you're curious about USA quarter dollars, timeless UK pennies, classic USA 5 cents, or the iconic 1-cent coins, we're here to dive into the details that make these coins more than just spare change. Let's start with the USA quarter dollar. From the historic George Washington design to the State and National Park series, there's more to these 25-cent pieces than meets the eye. Some quarters, whether they're from a rare year or a special era minting, could be worth far more than their face value. Next, we're off to the UK to talk about the penny. These small but mighty coins are packed with history and value. From rare old pennies to special editions, UK pennies often surprise collectors with their unique stories and potential worth. Moving on to the USA 5-cent coin, commonly known as the nickel. Whether it's the Jefferson nickel or an older vintage design, nickels are often overlooked, but some of these coins could be hidden treasures, waiting to be discovered in your pocket change. Finally, let's not forget the USA 1-cent coin, also known as the penny. Featuring Abraham Lincoln, these coins are American classics, but a few rare editions or minting errors could make that little penny worth big money. So, if you're into coin collecting or just curious about what makes some coins so valuable, be sure to hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. We have the 2016 quarter, which represents Harriet Tubman and her incredible contributions to American history. This quarter is celebrated for its design, symbolizing freedom and the ongoing fight for civil rights. It stands out not only for its artistic merit but also for its cultural significance. As awareness of its importance grows, so too does its appeal among collectors, making it a sought-after item in numismatic circles. Jumping forward to 2013, we encounter the Great Smoky Mountains National Park quarter. This coin is part of the America the Beautiful series, which honors national parks and sites across the United States. The design features a breathtaking view of the park's natural beauty, which attracts millions of visitors each year. Collectors love this series, and the 2013 quarter is no exception. Coins from this series, especially in pristine condition, can carry higher values due to their popularity and artistic merit. Next is the 2002 quarter, representing Massachusetts. The design features the Minuteman statue, a tribute to the revolutionary spirit of the state. This quarter serves as a reminder of the pivotal role Massachusetts played in America's fight for independence. Coins from this era, especially in uncirculated condition, are highly sought after by collectors due to their historical significance and the artistic representation of the state's heritage. Now let's talk about the 2001 quarter, which features the state of New York. This quarter prominently displays the Statue of Liberty on its reverse, celebrating one of the nation's most iconic landmarks. The New York quarter has captured the hearts of many collectors, and its connection to American history only enhances its value. If you come across this coin in excellent condition, you could see some nice returns when you decide to sell it. Moving on to the 1999 quarter, which is another gem from the State Quarters program. This year features Pennsylvania, showcasing the Liberty Bell on the reverse side. The Liberty Bell is one of America's most enduring symbols of freedom, making this quarter particularly popular among collectors. Due to its historical significance and the limited availability of uncirculated versions, the Pennsylvania quarter can also fetch a higher price in the collector market. Next up is the 1998 quarter, part of the 50 State Quarters program. This quarter represents Delaware, the first state to ratify the Constitution. On the reverse, you'll find a beautiful depiction of the state's thistle, symbolizing strength and resilience. The Delaware quarter has become a sought-after piece for many collectors, especially those looking for state-themed coins. In mint condition, it can be worth significantly more than its face value. Let's start with the 1993 quarter. This coin features the iconic George Washington design on the obverse, with the inscriptions, Liberty and, In God We Trust. The reverse showcases a simple eagle design, representing freedom and strength. While the 1993 quarter isn't the rarest or most sought-after coin, collectors appreciate its historical significance. Finding this quarter in uncirculated condition can make it more appealing and potentially valuable. Before we get into each specific year, let's take a moment to understand the significance of the UK 1 penny. First minted in 1971, the 1 penny coin was part of the United Kingdom's transition to a decimal-based currency system. These small copper-plated coins have been in circulation for decades and have undergone several design changes, making them fascinating for collectors. Let's kick things off with the 2008 UK 1 penny. This year is particularly special because it marked the introduction of a new reverse design, part of the Royal Shield of Arms series. The shield, when combined with other coins in the series, forms a complete image of the royal coat of arms. This design replaced the traditional portcullis with chains, which had been used for decades. Next up, we have the 2013 UK 1 penny. This penny continued the royal shield design, but what makes this year interesting is the number of high-quality coins produced in mint condition. While pennies from this year are still relatively common, collectors are always on the lookout for coins that are free of wear and tear, particularly if they've come straight from the mint. Moving on to the 2011 UK 1 penny, another coin from the Royal Shield series. This penny may not seem very different from others at first glance, but here's where things get interesting. The 2011 pennies are sometimes found with unique minting errors, including slight misalignments or metal inconsistencies. Error coins are incredibly popular among collectors. Now, let's talk about the 2005 UK 1 penny. This coin still features the classic portcullis with chains design on the reverse. As the design era was nearing its end, 2005 marked one of the last years to showcase this iconic imagery before the Royal Shield series began in 2008. Coins from this year that are in excellent condition, free from scratches or wear, can fetch higher prices on the collector's market. Next, we have the 2003 UK 1 penny. This coin also features the traditional portcullis design, but it's becoming increasingly difficult to find 2003 pennies in mint or near mint condition due to their long time in circulation. Collectors are particularly interested in coins from this period because they represent the final stretch of the pre-2008 design. If you come across a 2003 penny that's been well preserved, especially one that hasn't circulated much, you could be holding onto a piece with growing value. Finally, we arrive at the 2002 UK 1 penny. Much like the 2003 and 2005 pennies, this coin carries the portcullis with chains on its reverse side. What makes this year stand out is its increasing rarity in high-grade condition. Coins from this year are becoming harder to find in excellent shape, which adds to their appeal among collectors. Next, we have the 2003 UK 1 penny. This coin also features the traditional portcullis design, but it's becoming increasingly difficult to find 2003 pennies in mint or near mint condition due to their long time in circulation. Collectors are particularly interested in coins from this period because they represent the final stretch of the pre-2008 design. If you come across a 2003 penny that's been well preserved, today, we're going to focus on one of America's most iconic coins, the USA 5-cent coin, more commonly known as the nickel. Specifically, we'll be taking a closer look at nickels from 1994, 1983, 1986, 1984, 1992, 2003, and 1962. You'll want to stay tuned until the end because some of these coins could be worth far more than just 5 cents. If you've ever wondered whether that old nickel sitting in your drawer is worth more than its face value, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Let's kick things off with the 1994 USA 5 cent. This coin might seem common at first glance, but don't let its age fool you. Although millions were minted, it's the condition that truly determines its value today. Collectors are always on the lookout for uncirculated or mint condition coins, and 1994 nickels are no exception. If you have a 1994 nickel that has retained its original shine and luster, without any signs of wear or damage, it could fetch a higher price. Next, we have the 1983 USA 5 cent coin. The year 1983 is known for producing a relatively lower number of high-quality nickels compared to other years. Many coins from this year were heavily circulated, which means that finding one in pristine condition is more difficult. Coins from 1983 that are uncirculated or near mint are rare and desirable. If you come across a 1983 nickel that still has its original luster and hasn't seen much wear, you could have a valuable piece in your hands. Let's move on to the 1986 USA 5 cent. This coin is another great example of how condition and rarity can play a huge role in determining a coin's value. While 1986 nickels were minted in large quantities, many of them entered circulation and experienced heavy use. So, finding a 1986 nickel that's in mint or near mint condition is rare. Additionally, 1986 nickels may have some mint errors, which can greatly increase their value. Next up is the 1984 USA 5 cent coin. Just like its neighboring years, the value of a 1984 nickel can skyrocket if it's in mint condition or if it has any unique minting errors. One of the most notable error varieties from 1984 is the double die error, where parts of the design appear doubled. These errors are highly prized among collectors and can make the value of the coin jump significantly. Finally, we have the 1962 USA 5 cent coin. This coin is the oldest in today's lineup, and that makes it especially interesting to collectors. Coins from the 1960s, especially those in excellent condition, are becoming harder and harder to find as time goes on. A 1962 nickel in pristine condition, without any wear or discoloration, can command a high price from collectors. Additionally, if you're lucky enough to have a 1962 nickel with an error, like a misstrike or a double die, its value could be significantly higher. In the last of this video, we'll be talking about one of the most common yet potentially valuable coins in your collection, the USA 1 cent coin, also known as the penny. Specifically, we'll be looking at pennies from the years 1989, 1983, 1986, 1968, 1978, 1974. Let's start with the 1989 USA 1 cent. While 1989 pennies were minted in large quantities, their value lies in uncirculated or mint condition pieces. Many 1989 pennies that have circulated show wear and tear, but finding one that is still in pristine condition. Next up, we have the 1983 USA 1 cent. This year is particularly interesting because pennies from 1983 were struck on zinc-plated steel planchets instead of the traditional copper, making them lighter. This change occurred in 1982, but 1983 was the first full year of production for the new zinc pennies. Collectors are always on the lookout for 1983 pennies with errors, such as double die errors on the reverse, where the design appears doubled. Moving on to the 1968 USA 1 cent, we're stepping back into an era where pennies were still primarily made from copper. This year saw millions of pennies produced, but as with most coins, the condition plays a big role in its value. A 1968 penny in mint or uncirculated condition can be worth much more than its face value, especially if it has any minting errors. Be on the lookout for proof coins from this year, which were struck for collectors and often have a mirror-like finish. Next up is the 1974 USA 1 cent. This year is known for a famous aluminum penny experiment where the US Mint struck pennies using aluminum as a way to cut costs. However, the aluminum penny was never officially circulated, making it an extremely rare and valuable coin if you ever come across one. As for the standard copper pennies minted in 1974, their value increases if they are in uncirculated condition or if they feature any errors. The 1972 USA 1 cent is famous among collectors due to one very special error variety, the double die obverse, DDO. This occurs when the coin is struck twice by the die, leading to a noticeable doubling of the design, particularly on the date, lettering, or the word Liberty. Coins with this specific error are highly sought after by collectors and can be worth thousands of dollars depending on the severity of the doubling. Even if your 1972 penny doesn't have the doubling error, coins in mint condition are still valuable and could bring in more than their face value. But not least, let's talk about the 1999 USA 1 cent. This penny might seem modern compared to the others we've discussed, but it's still highly collectible, especially if it's in uncirculated condition or features a mint error. One interesting fact about 1999 pennies is that they are part of the final years before the millennium, making them a part of the turn-of-the-century collectibles.